Allow all. So name, handle, where you're from, what platforms you use, social media links, what kind of content you make. Links to examples of post-brand collaborations. So if you don't have any and you're a smaller creator, then I recommend trying to work with like indie devs and indie companies to get your first experience, even if it's not paid. Maybe it's a partnership where they send you something and you do a post. I know it's not the best type of thing. You can't find your Discord ID. It should be now, just like your handle and if you look at your profile, it should be there. I need to update the sign up because it's actually technically not hashtag blah 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 anymore. So I need to update that. So what I would recommend just getting some brand experience. Again, it's not the best to like, you know, doing something for exposure or whatever, like, you know, but it's not a hard and fast rule either. Notable achievements or milestones in your community, okay? This is like, have you raised money for charity? How much did you raise? Did you get invited to do something? Have you been on a panel? Have you been on someone else's game show? Have you created a game show or some sort of events? Has Twitch featured you? You know, just anything. This is all right here, by the way, is how you want to think about when you're applying for partnership. These are the important things. Please solve. I was like, what puzzle? There's no puzzle. So, yeah, feel free to apply to that. Again, that is, I'll link it here in chat for y'all. There you go. Okay. So this was posted last week. This is a gem of a thread. Enhance. The many gaming creators and streamers with the question on their mind, how do I get code for X game, or why didn't I get a code? A thread for you. Try not to take it personally or assume. The process of choosing outlets and channels for early embargo access or day one streams is done as a case-by-case basis. It's extensive, reviewed by global teams, and those chosen have specific audiences in mind. If you want more access to companies, it would be wise to position yourself as a creator that's contextual to the brand and title. Playing previous titles in the library a month before launch isn't effective. Consistent genre-related content on your channel is. Why the media kit matters. Oh, you know what? Before I get ahead of myself. Also, this right here, by the way, to the argument about why being a variety streamer isn't great, it's because of this, where brands can't get a read on what you do. And so they're less likely to want to work with you because they're not sure if their game actually aligns with your audience. They would rather, you know, someone that's going to be playing Destiny 2, they're going to want to look for people who play those type of games versus, oh, I played Destiny, you know, last month, and then a week before I played Stardew, and a week before I played Resident Evil. Yes, focused audiences are a big plus for brands. It's good for you because it actually helps you grow, because it makes it easier for you to describe your stream and for people to understand what you do. And this is another bonus to that, is now brands understand what you do. Now, don't give me that guy's name. Don't say that guy's name to try to counter. Well, what about CohhCarnage? He does anything he wants. The dude has 10,000 viewers a stream. He's not the same. He's been doing this for 10 years. You are not the same. You can't do that now. The game has changed. Don't look at someone like CohhCarnage and be like, well, that's proof that you can do it. Because it's not. You're not in the same boat. Why the media kit matters. Asking for a code just to play the game doesn't give the decision maker enough context as to why you should be given embargo access. prior work as a reviewer or showcasing how you would effectively use access to early content is a stronger strategy. So making a media kit is so great for so many reasons, and no matter what your size, you should make a media kit. It's essentially a one-page resume that gets across your brand, what you do, who your audience is, what your credentials are, right? So a brand can make a decision what your stats are, so a brand can make a decision about whether it makes sense to work with you or not. This is not where you lie about what you do to try to work with brands, because they are going to check. It's not like they're going to look at your resume and see, oh, you have 1,000 CCV, I'm going to work with you. No, they're going to look it up. So don't lie, but use it as a very quick way for brands to choose you. It also helps you stand out because many creators don't have media kits. So it's a way to put you above everyone else. It makes you look prepared, professional, like you know what you're doing and you're serious about this. That is someone a brand wants to work with. Don't you feel like a media kit could invalidate some of the coolness of certain streamers? What does that even mean? The coolness? What does that even mean? You're gonna have to elaborate because I do not understand. I assume this is why you have a separate channel for gaming streams. Yeah, this point up here, or this one that I have highlighted, yes. I pivoted and made a gaming stream because mixing me just playing games with my educational content was confusing. It was confusing to me, made it harder to pitch when I got rated, and was confusing to viewers. I want to set the expectations really clear about what this channel is and what you're going to get, and being like, oh, well, you know, I do news and educational content and I have a whole company revolving around that, but also sometimes I play games on Fridays, but sometimes on Wednesday afternoons. It was just like too confusing. The gaming for me at this point is for fun. And so I'll do that on an alt account where I don't have to worry about viewership. I can play whenever and however I want. That's me being variety. That's me being as variety as I want because I'm not trying to grow as a gaming creator anymore. That is pure hobby fun times. Like too much behind the curtain. Certain internet people make their living off being extremely casual and unattainable, and brands approach them. They don't care, and maybe it's all a farce, but it appears real. I bet you that those creators are probably way more business oriented than you think. Those are actually usually the most prepared people. They know how to handle their business. There's nothing wrong with having a business aspect of a business. Like, you're a creator, but you also are a business. And there's nothing wrong with that. Now, those creators don't just like post their media kit around and like are trying to respond to tweets, right? That just all happens behind closed doors. You don't need to like as a gaming creator, you don't need to have like your media kit on your Twitch stream, or like you don't need to cross that over, right? You can use Twitter or email as like a business outlet with replying and getting in contact and DMing brands and be prepared. I mean, to me it's like, oh, I mean, fellas, is it uncool to like, you know, treat your hobby seriously and, you know, take it seriously, want to grow? Like, yeah, I mean, it's fine. You're not gonna lose cool points. Brands, like, there's front facing and behind the scenes, and as a streamer you do both. The front facing stuff is you as a person, the persona, the entertainment, how you connect with creators. Brands love that side of you. That being said, they need you to handle your business in the back as well. Like, you can't be a mess behind the scenes because you will lose out on opportunities. You will leave money on the table. You will, you know, wind up on blocked lists because you are not easy to work with. no matter what persona you give off on one side to your community, you need to have it together on the business side if you want to succeed. What's up, Nakamura? Enjoy your lurk. There are several online media kit sites out there, true. I'm sure there are. Canva also is really great. I will vouch for Canva forever, okay? Canva is so freaking helpful. It is such a golden tool for making YouTube thumbnails, going live tweets, schedules, overlays, media kits. I mean, get the this is not an ad. I'm not paid by them. I'd love to, but I'm not paid by them. Go get the pro for a month and just crank out a bunch of stuff. Make your media kit. It's super easy. They have a million templates. It's awesome. Yeah, Citizen, nice. Can you hire someone else to have it together for you? I feel like streamer agents would go a long way. There are agencies out there, yes. There are agencies, there's management companies, yes, absolutely. There's I'm with Phoenix Down. Nani's another popular one. There's several more accessible companies out there. Vouching for any product forever seems like a dangerous proposition. Dylan, what's up, Dylan? How you doing? Link trees are fine. They're helpful for, like, especially viewers. Hey, check out my socials, and it's just one link and people can go to where they want. But for brands, it can be a point of frustration because they have to click on the link tree, then they have to click on, well, which outlet is most popular for them, right? Okay, and they have to click all these links, and it could be like buried in a bunch of other links. It can be a little messy, so just keep that in mind. There's also, I think, there's a site, I think, called Media Kits or something like that, that does media kits. I think Pillar.io also has that tool as well. So there's a couple tools where you don't have to design anything. But then you're, again, having to give people a link to something versus, like, embedding an image. So pros and cons. Even if you don't align with what they're doing right now with the media kit, they may see something else align with you down the road. Yeah. Why the media kit matters. So I mean, I did read this already, but yes, it's important. If you want to get a step ahead of everyone else, make a media kit. You want to increase your chances. There are definitely things you can do to, you look at someone, you're like, well, why did they get an opportunity? They're a small streamer. Like, what about me? I mean, I have like 1,000 viewers and they only have 10. Well, what the heck? It's things like this. It's the people who have their shit together that get more opportunities because they are prepared. They have a media kit. They have a value proposition. They have a plan. They're not just like, hey, give me game. Your history matters. While your channel is being vetted, if you have a history of not enjoying or engaging with titles within the genre or style, or have a history of not enjoying the brand games, then it's not unreasonable to guess you won't be chosen. Also, like, this also has to do with the way you conduct yourself. For example, if you swear a lot on stream, you will be excluded from certain opportunities, 100%. Not all opportunities, but you will be excluded from some opportunities. If you know, are harassing devs, either through directly harassing them on Twitter or something, or you're just like trash talking the game in an unprofessional way. You're like, this game's trash. Like, wow, they're so lazy, devs. Like, they don't do anything. F this game, blah blah blah. If you talk like that, you're going to wind up on some list. There was a tweet going around where someone, and I'm not sure if it was a breach of embargo, but they posted a screenshot of the Starfield menu and were like, here's a thread of why this is so bad and why the developers are lazy. It's like, that person probably never going to get a code from any outlet ever again. So just don't be a douche. Think about your actions. That stuff does carry with you. The industry is small in that way. I'm gonna change the topic. Tips for working with brands. There we go. No right now isn't no forever. The agencies and brand managers who are allocating codes may have other windows in which you qualify to receive codes. There are literally tens of thousands of requests at times, and it takes a lot of manual power to vet. This is shoot your shot. Shoot your shot. No matter how small you are or how small you think you are, get yourself together. Position yourself as if you are qualified. Don't disqualify yourself by saying you're a small streamer and oh me, don't mind me. Or just or by not applying at all. Shoot your shot. Shoot your shot. You just never know. Don't take yourself out of the equation before you've been given a chance. Seriously. Speak to your why. Often requests come in without context. Tie your story together. I would like to review X game because it's closely related to what my channel focuses on. I'll be doing a 2-part series, or we'd like a code to make X game part of a special event. I mean, this is all stuff I talk about very, very often here. I mean, I just talked about this like a few minutes ago. Like, be specific, have a value prop. Tell them what you want and why you want it, what you're going to do with it. Don't just say, hey, can I have a game code? Hey, I'm going to make a let's play. You know, I'm a big fan of this series and my community is very excited. Or, hey, I'm going to do a community tournament or something. I mean, brands love that stuff. Not only will they give you a game code, but they may be interested in doing more with you. Like giving you some swag to give away or to unbox, or, you know, having a dev come by during the day of the event, or even boost your tweets about the event on socials. You never know. So think about why you need the thing. And if you need it to just, you're going to play the game on stream, that's okay. But again, provide that context. Don't just say, hey, give me code. Is that for YouTube? Is it for a live stream? You know, what is the nature of what you're doing? If you make the brand do any sort of guesswork or labor to figure out what the heck you're doing and why you're asking for the thing, your chances of getting accepted diminish. So anything you can do to eliminate the extra work, again, by providing and being honest about your analytics. What is your average viewership? What are your demographics? What kind of games do you play? Be straightforward, because hiding or lying isn't doing you any favors. You're not going to trick anyone into giving you a code. You're going to need to earn it. So just be straightforward. Not all video creators have this freedom, but if you don't get the yes, review it anyways. You need to ask yourself, is this about the content or is it about being first? If you're trying to build a relationship with the brand and its partners, that matters. So this is totally up to you and also your budget. Maybe you just don't have the budget to buy the game. But what I would do is, especially if you really care, like Andy's saying here, if you really care about building a relationship, like let's say with Bungie, with Destiny, you really want them to notice you, you're a smaller creator, maybe you don't get accepted for a key, you're probably going to play the game anyways if you've been playing Destiny, right? If you end up playing the game, feel free to follow up with them and say, hey, You know, it sucks that unfortunately I wasn't granted a code, but I still played the game because I'm a huge fan. We actually put on a fashion show. Here's the link to the VOD. Here's some stats on how it went. Looking forward to potentially working together on doing something like this in the future, right? Show them your work. Show them what you are capable of. That's going to turn some heads. 8. Voicing the fact that you were not selected via social is actually fine. In all honesty, people get missed, or multiple teams may be handling various regions. But how you voice your statements makes all the difference. It's possible to be disappointed but professional. Again, we talked about this earlier. This goes with anything. Don't say, well, how come this person got it? Or don't be like, wow, seeing all these small streamers get a code and I didn't. I mean, Bungie is just, you know, nepotism or something. I don't know. Something silly like that. Wow, never gonna play a Bungie game again. Okay, well then Bungie's never gonna work with you. Like, again, I'm not speaking for Bungie. This applies to most brands and how they operate. So this is really important. Not even just with getting a code, but when you're reviewing a game, talking about a game, constructive criticism, constructive feedback. This is something that I do, and this is why Twitch doesn't hate me that much. In fact, everyone I meet at Twitch is very nice, and they always have nice things to say. And it's because I can be very, very critical and harsh, but fair. And that's something that you should think about as a creator as well. Finally, timing. Marketing strategy and lists are created months in advance. Months! A good tactic for organized creators, keep a content calendar and reach out months ahead of schedule. The best in the biz do this consistently, even they get a no sometimes. So if you're looking for game releases, can you get a code, you know, a week before? Maybe. Especially if it's through like something like terminals or something, you might be able to. But if you really want to do something and really establish a relationship, you need to be respectful of their time. And also show that you're thinking honestly and thoughtfully about what you're doing and what you want. Because the later you wait, the more likely it just looks like you're just asking for a code at the last minute and you aren't like really putting in the effort. So this is a fantastic thread. I'll link it in chat if you want to see more of it. Very, very insightful. We also, by the way, have a guide on Streamer Square. Let me see if I can pull it up here. The guide is working with PR. The guide is a few years old. It's actually several years old at this point, but it is totally comprised of interviews with a bunch of industry folks. And while some systems may have changed, I think a lot of this will be really valuable insight. Now I'll link this. I wrote this. It doesn't say when I wrote this, but it's definitely a bit old. It's still really, really helpful. And actually, Andy Lunique is in this thread. So we talk about things about how early should you get contacted. What are some things that creators should include in their email when requesting keys? What do you look for when choosing which creators to work with? What are your expectations? Common mistakes? What can content creators do to make your job easier? Any other tips or advice? Again, we interviewed like, I think like 5 to 10 different industry people, including Andy. So, yeah, this is very, very helpful stuff here. I'd definitely go through that. So there you go. Let me know if you have any questions, follow-up, thoughts, comments, and more of the story. Get a media kit and reach out early is the 2 big takeaways I would have here. There you go. And keep it professional, obviously. So I should have added this to the segment about working with brands. So this is Nelstar, who has a lot of experience in the industry, formerly with Square Enix, 505 Games, currently at PTW. Hey streamers, if you happen to receive a game code from a site like Terminals, remember to submit your coverage. If you get a key directly from someone at a dev/publisher, shoot them an email with your coverage and stats. All of that helps ensure we can work together lately. This is huge, and a lot of streamers don't do this or realize that they're supposed to do this. Is it required? I mean, they're not going to come knocking on your door if you don't do it. Now, some sites like Terminals, when you request a code, it will ask you to submit coverage. So there's some sites that may require it. And some devs may email and follow up and ask for it. It's not very common because, again, it's such a manual labor thing. But again, anything you can do to make it easier for the dev, publisher, PR team, the better. This is going to put you, again, elevated. You're more likely to get more opportunities. You're more likely to get reached out to for some other ideas they have. They're going to be super, super appreciative. This is a big reputation boost. So if you want to go above them, so the basic thing to do here is just say, hey, thanks for the key. Here's the link to my stream that I did with it. You can also provide some stats. We averaged 75 concurrent viewers. We had 2,000 watch hours. You know, and the reception was super positive or something. We had a couple of people say they bought the game. Now, so basic advice is like, if you get a game code, this is a must, right? If you get a game code and you use the code, you must create coverage. Do not accept the code and download the game and never create coverage for it. That is highly unethical. You're stealing money and game codes from a publisher. You must create coverage if you are to accept a code. Now, if you don't plan on playing the game, just simply respond and say, thank you for the offer, but I don't plan on playing the game. Feel free to use it for someone else. Because they will be able to reuse that code, and that's good for them. Obviously, yeah, don't get codes for friends. Don't even ask. I mean, it's just weird unless you're planning to give away something to your community and you have, like, I would say 100+ viewers. But if you have like 5 viewers and you're like, hey, can I get 5 codes? I'm gonna give them to my community. And it's not really like the cost benefit analysis becomes unfavorable for the brand. So do the coverage. The next level is give them even just like a link to your stream. Here's what I did with the code, or a link to your video, whatever. And then the above and beyond thing to do is, I can't remember now. Shoot, I prefaced it way too much that I actually can't remember what the thing was that I wanted people to do. Oh shoot, it has something to do with the media kits too, and getting like actual brand experience. Oh yes, here it is. Yes, the above and beyond, again, 200 IQ play is to create a bit.ly link, bit.ly, like one of those bit.ly links. And when you're doing your coverage, say, hey, if anybody wants to check out the game, please go through my link. You're basically inventing a sponsored stream without it actually being sponsored. But the pro side is you actually will be able to see, by creating your own bit.ly, you'll actually be able to see how many clicks. Now, you won't be able to track conversions. I don't think that you can, at least yeah, unless you're like, unless you have an affiliate program, like maybe you are partnered with like Green Man Gaming or something where you can see how many sales you've generated. That could also be a thing. But at the very least, you can see, hey, I played this game and we got 30 people to click and check out the game. That right there is the building blocks for getting sponsorships. And this goes back to the Destiny thing where they're looking for creators and they're looking for people with brand experience. This is how you can make your own brand experience, because now you have data to support, hey, I did a 3-hour stream playing this game. I got 30 people to click on this. Here's my rates. And now they can see what you're worth. And you're basically, you know, now you have data to support your pitch. And that's going to, again, increase your chance of getting selected, especially if your rate aligns with what you're able to deliver. So you can create your own methodology for actually tracking data and stats and being able to build your own resume. And that brand is going to be totally blown away. Totally blown away by you doing that. And they might come back to you and want to send you stuff. They might want to pay you to stream more, or they might just reach back out to you to either give you a code or, again, do more with you down the road as well, because you have shown that you know what you're doing and you can convert. So, okay, now I think that's everything I have in my my brain. But yeah, so this is, again, this is good stuff to do. This is good stuff. Is it required? Most of the time it's not required, but it, again, will make you more professional and more likely to get more opportunities. So do the thing.